So the Jackson Hole speech from Jerome Powell has confirmed that there's no pivot, more restrictive policy, because we need to bring that inflation down to a standard rate. Potentially 2% is what they're targeting. I think that will be very, very hard. Let's see what's happening now with the market, because when we look at what happened on Friday, looking at the screen here, we dropped over 1,000 points on the Dow Jones and across the board almost 4% on the Nasdaq. Not great. And I know most people here are into crypto, but we've got to look at this market. A lot of people do often comment saying, why are we looking at this market? Because the bigger fundamental play is money flow. And if the markets are crap elsewhere, the dollar is strong, and the bond market's starting to go up, it's not great for an investor, which is why we need to be careful with when we put money into the market. So, rally, hopes crumble as Powell's hits, a big reality check for a lot of people, right? Let's be honest here, he's literally smashed you at the minute, and that's the element we need to talk about. This is not going to be a great video if you're a bull. You need to try and preserve capital. You need to buy levels of support when you are happy to do so. But for me, this does not feel like the dip to sort of buy at the moment until we get a more clear picture of what is going to happen throughout the week. We have got some more events coming this week as well, non-farm payroll, stuff like that we do need to take some sort of consideration on. So let's talk about it. What happened? So this is the weekly time frame where we have had a relief rally in the stock market. It's been great. Everything's been going up. It's been lovely. But we've also had a very, very hard, sharp rejection back. It looks like a continuation. In my opinion, it looks like a continuation. Talked about this a lot on my Patreon regarding how it's a typical pattern. And this typical pattern has also been replicated on the Nasdaq, right? As you can see, this was a level of interest where we could have held, and we're falling through it. Literally went boom. So we have to be somewhat careful right on the 618 levels, perfect levels, and if we are going to continue going lower, we are going to start seeing some pretty horrific price action. Now, the elephant in the room is the obvious here. Yeah, if we drop, we're going to go back down to 2020 levels. Well, yeah, obviously. However, when you look at this as a bigger picture, let's just zoom out a little bit on the Nasdaq. We've been spoilt, and I've said this before. I know this is not crypto related, but we have been spoilt. And even if we do drop even lower and go pre-2020, pre-COVID crash levels, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how the crypto market holds up and how investors' mindsets change in terms of how they manage money. Because we're talking about a new generation of investors who have never, myself included, experienced a recession in real time, and also a bear market where it is a pretty horrific bear market. If we're talking about these past levels, so the dot-com crash and the previous recession, and we are going to drop down into this kind of region and even lower, potentially lower than the COVID crash, we've got to be mindful of that, right? So just, buying the dip, go for it. But is it worth it? You're better off waiting a little bit. Try not to spend all your monies, right? Other things to consider. The dollar is still strong. Looking very, very strong. This is looking relatively, this is the monthly time frame. Ridiculous, let's be honest here. Weekly time frame, we are starting to pull back a little bit from this level, but again, don't do TA on this. This is just a data metric. It's, a collaboration of 25 different countries essentially, 6 different currency pairs. It's pretty mental, right? So don't just go full ball sleep, bearish divergence, double top, whatever it may be that you may have found. It's not really worth it. Anyways, let's talk about Bitcoin and stuff like that. What is happening? This basically. So remember this bull market that was starting, and everyone was getting really, really excited about it, and it was like, bull market, we're doing well, it's going great. We're back at these lows again. We're back at these lows. Everyone was saying we're never going to go back below a certain level, and at the end of the day, TA is TA. It was looking weak for weeks, excuse the pun, but Bitcoin was not running, and pulled back into this level. This was a level of demand. I talked about it last week or a few weeks ago anyways, talking about 2 different scenarios. We've got the bullish and bearish, obviously, right? Pull back, weekly time frame, get demand. We haven't got demand. We've actually gone lower, which is obviously now the bearish scenario where we've continued. We've got a little bit of demand, but it was sold off, and we dropped into that new level. So there wasn't enough appetite for the bulls to get us going, which is why we're now here, which is not good. If we do continue going low from this point here as a swing, we could be seeing 15k. Sorry to scare you. At best, back down to the 18k range. Will we get enough buyers there this time? Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if it'll be as much of a bounce. I'll be honest with you, that bounce was pretty weak. I'll be honest, I was a bit underwhelmed by it. I've said this before. I did a video saying 28k would be a perfect place to take profit. Didn't even get there. It was like the first real level of interest where we could get some absolute bountage and go towards where these levels were. Failure. Total failure. So yeah, if you were listening to that, cool. But reality was, we didn't even get close to it. Bit of a problem. Ethereum, currently in a short on this position. Lovely downtrend. Merge hype happened. We've dropped into a level of demand. I do feel we will bounce at some point. I'm going to be taking profits pretty soonish. Certainly around this level here, because around in between this little... basically, I'll show you. I've got a little box there. I'm like, maybe that level can be quite good. But the reality is, this is an obvious downtrend. If this creates a new low, you all know I've got a buy order down here. You all know that I'm going to put a buy order down here. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy a lot of it. I do think Ethereum is quite a good bet for the future, but it's a bear market. You know, we just do not know how low these are going to go. You got to follow the trend, and the trend on the weekly time frame is not looking great, and that is across the board on everything. You've probably already noticed this, that things that go up, bad for crypto. Things that go down, also bad for crypto, right? You've got to look at certain metrics, right? It is not great. In terms of the entire market cap itself, and I've talked about this before, these two levels, did a video on it when I'm buying. When we get to those levels, I will have no hesitation in buying. Even if we get to this level here on this swing, I will have no hesitation in buying some stuff. I will not buy loads of stuff. I will buy some stuff. I will accumulate units, right? Got to keep it super simple. And I think having a clear set pattern of rules is a big, big thing, because we've got to look at the fact of what's coming next. Q4. We're going to go into winter. Energy prices in Europe, horrendous. I know not everyone's in Europe, but it is horrendous. Food prices in Europe, also horrendous. Christmas is coming. Yeah, you're going to be not spending as much money on investing. You're going to be looking at heating your house, feeding your family, and ultimately buying certain things for Christmas and spending time with family. If you don't have the money, you're not going to use it. Let's be honest here. Realistic. Anyways, last thing before I go, and I don't want to scare people, but the dominance chart. The dominance chart has done a giga bounce. I talked about this last week in a little bit of frustration. I did a video. A lot of people went, oh, this is boring. No one cares. But this is playing out to a T. Whenever this bounces, you want to be careful. And I've said it before, how I look at a chart and how I decide for a chart is different to pretty much most people. I've set up a little system that works for me, and it works. If you want to learn more about it, you know where to go. Go to the links below. Patreon, Learning Crypto, etc. For me, money flow is key. It's the same as what I learned back in 2015 when I was in the stock market. It was the same sort of metric in terms of using the S&P 500 to get positions, basically, or not be in position. It's the same metric. If we continue going higher on that chart, the market's going to be pretty crap for crypto. That's all I'm going to say, because more and more people will be in cash, well, stable currencies, whatever it may be. The same with the BTC dominance. I do feel at some point we are going to bounce. Whether we just bounce with the 44%, not good for altcoins. We will probably remain relatively low. I do not see this ever going back up to these levels again, because the stable currency dominance is now increasing. If you've looked on CoinMarketCap, you'll see like the top 20 is littered with stable coins, right? It will probably be a factor for a long time. So we may well see a flip narrative here, where we will see a lot more stable coins in the market, just the way it is. But use it, use the advantage. Anyways, if you like this video, leave a like, leave a comment. I know I'm seriously undervalued. Everyone tells me that. But hey, let's ride the wave.